Good evening, and welcome to the Lady NightHawk show, where we have different topics that we talk about, but tonight what we try to do is get a collaboration of a group of people that have like minds and like things to help all of us, okay, out here with some of the mental stress that you might be going through, or some of the situations that you might be going through now, dealing with your housing situation. And it's very important because we're at the beginning of the year. Also, they can help you with your taxes, right? Because this is the tax year. And we can talk, people that got bankruptcy, loan modifications. This is the beginning of the year. Do not go through the rest of this year and have to be stressed out when I am making sure that you have the resources that you need that are available to you, and at the end of the credits that you'll be able to get that information again. And if you have to go back, we got 3 shows. Jeremiah Denominational, that comes on in the morning at 10. We got the Lady NightHawk show, comes on at 8:30, and we have Let's Talk with Paula that comes on at 3:30. I come on at 8 o'clock, I'm sorry. Lady NightHawk's 8 o'clock. Let's Talk with Paula is 3:30. So if any information that you miss, you can catch us, okay? And I'm quite sure it's going to be something that we didn't say in one of the shows that we will do this time, okay? So, and how are you doing tonight, Reverend Ross?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me again, Paula.
No, always.
Thank you so much.
You always. You know you're my brother.
I appreciate that.
From another mama.
Of course.
Okay. All right, then. Let's introduce yourself. They know who you are, but you still have to introduce yourself, Ross.
Well, I am.
Okay.
And you're my sister from another mister.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I appreciate that.
I got that. I never remember that from another.
Yeah,
mister.
that was a good one.
Yeah, I remember. He's really
I don't
like
think she
that.
was
Okay.
ready for that.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
Well, I appreciate
But I'm going to
that.
remember that.
Please do.
Okay, that's good. All right, that's
I
good.
appreciate that.
I'm-
Well, my name is Ross Levin.
Mhm.
You know me, of course, as Reverend Ross Levin.
I know you as Reverend Ross.
Of course, of course.
Yes.
I'm the executive director of Roots of Mankind. We're a local nonprofit here in Prince George's County, where we educate home buyers. We help them create generational wealth. We do financial empowerment. We also help them keep their homes and do a lot of other things as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And my guest, this is their second time here.
Yes, I'm Dezarae Malone, CEO, visionary leader of Royal Tax and Financial Services, specializing in individual and corporate tax preparation since 2015, debt-free elimination and strategy, and a plethora of other financial services to help you sustain and grow and build wealth.
I love that plethora. Every time I hear somebody say that word. Yeah.
Good day, Nevage Malone, the husband of Dezarae Malone. I'm the operations manager with Royal Financial, educating individuals on how to remedy their credit, helping them get their home for the first time, and counseling. Also, CEO and visionary of Royal Property Group, which we specialize in the look over the shoulder to help new entrepreneurs looking to get into real estate for the first time, and actually get you in a car, show you around, take you around, and show you how to capitalize and build up the community.
And my name is Kevin Grant, CEO of KCG Real Estate, LLC. And I too specialize in the foreclosure market and helping homeowners buy time to stay in their properties. It's not about losing your property, ladies and gentlemen. It's about staying in your properties. And that's what we strive to do. That's what we want to educate you on and help, because we all know that life can hit us with unforeseen circumstances. So we're here to help.
And it's a lot of people that are homeless. It's a lot of people tonight are living on the street.
Yeah.
And they don't have shelters for them to go to, okay? Because somebody didn't guide them properly, or they didn't know, okay? And that's most of the time it's because you don't know, or you don't know who I need to talk to for whatever the situation is that we encounter.
Yeah.
And I also think that it's good for us to, we're talking about generational wealth, but your company actually helps people learn how to get into the real estate business themselves.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And so you do a hands-on approach.
That's
Because a lot of
correct.
people don't do that, okay? So we're not only trying to tell you how to But we also got people here that are willing to counsel you and teach you and educate you and handhold you if you need to be handheld, that they will do that for you. And that's what's so important this year. God has just laid, and I know this is not the church show, but God has laid it on Lady NightHawk's heart that this is what we need this year, because I hijacked Ross's show because he was supposed to come on by himself. I'm so sorry, okay. But God led me to make sure that all these wonderful people got together and were able to you in January before the year ended to let you know that there is help out there for you, okay? Yes. So it's in the credits. I'm telling you to take a pencil and a piece of paper right now, put it in front of you, so that if there are any questions that you might have on your mind, that you can call them later, okay? Write down who the person was and their phone number down, okay? And write down what the question was. And then that way you can go back and you be ready and you be armed to try to help yourself. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
It does.
Okay. So with that, Reverend Ross,
Yes.
I know that you help a lot of people, and I know that I always have to mention Attorney Bell with you, because y'all are synonymous, okay? And the veterans group that we all started with, and Nevage was with us at some point as well, and then they moved, okay? Right. The thing is that having that attorney with you helps a lot, and that catchphrase that we caught on with was generational wealth. Because that's something that he's been talking about, even when we were talking about with the veterans, he talked about generational wealth, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even know what that term means, and that's sad, but I'm gonna ask you just to do a trick. Next time you talk to one of your young friends, okay, ask them, do they know what generational wealth is, okay? And before you leave here tonight, you're gonna understand what generational wealth is, I promise you, okay? So, Ross.
Yes.
Tell us exactly what you do, because you are an expert and you are a HUD counselor, right? And everybody, sometimes they dealing with HUD and they don't know what to do when they run into a problem. They bump their heads. And because HUD says, no, I can't. But you can say, yes, I can.
Well, I appreciate that, Paula. So, say for example, someone owns a home, and say for example, someone passes away, which unfortunately that happens, and say for example, there's a mortgage on the property, and say for example, when the person passes away, the mortgage, the family members didn't know there was a mortgage on the property. Mortgage, then of course, what happens? Payments aren't made, mortgage then goes into foreclosure, payments aren't made, that's what happens, and the property's lost because it goes into foreclosure. It's important to go ahead and have an open dialogue, of course, with what's going on with the finances, because eventually, unfortunately, we're all going to pass.
Yes.
Right. So it's important to go ahead and meet with a housing counselor or meet as a family and talk about finances and keep it open, and keep it honest, because everybody should go ahead and the family should have a planning session to create generational wealth, because it's hard, right, to go ahead and to establish and to get to own a home. And it's equally as hard, or should I say, it's easy, just as easy to lose a home.
Yes.
To go ahead, miss payments, and then all of a sudden what happens? What happens is the house is gone just like that. Easily preventable. If
Yes, it is.
your home, if your family knows that there's a mortgage on the home, or there was a reverse mortgage on the home, the person, for example, could have, or the family could have had life insurance to have the loan paid off in case of someone's demise, right? They could have easily had that in place, but you have to have an open conversation and have everything on the table, which the family members, and know what's going on. So
Absolutely.
that's really what's important,
key.
because once you have that and you know, then you create generational wealth, because that house, when someone bought it in 1950, say for $25,000, $30,000, $50,000, now is worth $400,000 or $500,000,
Yes.
And more than that, depending on where you live.
depending upon the location. So that's how generational wealth is so important, because now what do we have? We have people that are afraid to buy homes.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's one of the things that we help people with and talk about, because it's so expensive nowadays to rent.
Yes.
And you pay as much mortgage and more, house note, mortgage, whatever you want to call it, in renting as much as if you had bought a home. And people don't realize that.
Exactly.
They think that they rent this place and it's $2,000. Well, I can't afford a home. Oh, yes, you can. Because if you're paying anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000 a month in an apartment that you can't do nothing with, and they can put you out,
Right.
and if you miss a payment,
Yeah.
you need to know that there are ways with these people that if you had to sit down, and I don't mean to say these people, because sometimes people take that in a negative tone, but that's not what I
Right.
mean. Okay, y'all understand that, right?
Yeah.
Talk with this group. I'll
Yeah.
say that.
Kingdom people.
Kingdom people. I got you. All right? That, you don't have to give somebody else that money. When you can, like he was explaining, talk to somebody, learn how you can purchase your own home, and that $2,500 or $3,000 or more that you're paying in a mortgage that will never be yours, okay, you can own your own home. It's not as hard. Through counseling, talking to people, and one thing that you said is very open, and it's one thing that Ms. Malone said on the last show that she was on, one thing that you have to do, and I've listened to everything you say, okay, you have to be open and honest, and that's what you just said. And you wasn't even on that show, but you said the same thing. So it applies to everybody.
Right.
When you sit down and talk to a mortgage counselor for whatever it is that you're doing, you have to be open and honest. That's not the time that you need to feel like you are embarrassed, okay?
There you go.
That I don't want to really tell you all my business because I'm embarrassed,
it is.
and you might know somebody I know. Hey, these people are professionals. They're not going out. I don't care if they knew your grandmama, okay? They're not going back to tell nobody in your family about what your business is, because that's the oath that all of y'all take, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay?
Right.
So that was a segue for you. That you got to be open and honest, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm Dezarae Malone, Royal Tax and Financial Services, and I'm so grateful for everything that Reverend Ross just shared, because, when you're talking about, we see it all the time when it comes to mortgages and assets, anything. You want to have the proper things in place. For example, if you have a home and you want this home to stay in the family, having the proper insurances in place. For example, establishing a whole life policy and having mortgage coverage or final expense coverage to ensure that debt doesn't fall on your family. They're not overwhelmed especially if they've never owned a home before.
Absolutely.
They don't know what to do,
Right.
and they may not know to get counseling or reach out for help to maintain that.
And the other thing you do is you help people with budgeting, okay?
Yes.
Because people don't realize that, it's a lot of places where people rent now that are charging you for electric and water bills, okay? That's the same thing that you have to do if you buy a house,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So those people are charging you things that you are learning, not knowingly, that you have to pay a mortgage, you have to pay the electric, I have to pay the water bill, depending on where you renting from. I'm talking about rental people now.
Yes.
They're helping you to learn on your own on how it is that the same thing that you've learned from being in that apartment complex, paying that other things, that you just need to sit down and talk to a housing counselor.
Yes.
So that they can sit down and tell you, you've already learned the process,
Yes.
but now I can help you get through the process.
Yes.
Is that right?
And it doesn't just stop at step one.
Yes.
You got step one, which is your foundation.
Yes.
And then after you have your foundation, counseling, and all of that, you can build upon it. Now you can prepare your children and their children. Now we're talking about legacies, and we're talking about just generational wealth building, where that information and that knowledge and those things are in place for generations, long after, because it's not about us, it's about when we're gone. It's about those after us.
Because, it's so many of y'all that got property that's down in Virginia that's from here. or down in Southern Maryland that lives right here, you don't even know that you have property because nobody passed that on to you, and somebody else started paying the taxes that knew your grandmama and them, okay? Because people do that.
Yeah.
They start paying the taxes on the property, and so when you finally find out, because somebody finally gets your address, and then it's like, oh, I didn't know it was property down there. Well, somebody been paying that bill.
Yes.
Now you got to fight with the person that's
Absolutely.
been paying those taxes
And it's
for
in the
property
title.
that was legitimately yours, that your grandma left for y'all, or great-great-grandma left for y'all over there in Virginia and down there in Southern Maryland. So I'm telling you, better start talking to folks and try to find out where your generational wealth is, and that's why we're telling you that there are resources out there, and you can find out. Somebody in that family knows where the property is.
Right, where those taxes, or that
Yes.
property's lost, it goes to tax sale, and you have rights, but you only have, your rights are extinguished after a period of time.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can redeem taxes through, in Maryland, but there's a time limit,
For everything.
Yes.
right?
Yes. And so you need to sit down with your family, and I do want to say this before I move on, that this is tax season. We want to
It
remember,
is
and taxes
tax
are due
season.
when now?
So tax season officially starts January 27th until April the 15th,
Okay.
unless the IRS changes.
And anything's possible. But right now, we're going to tell you what day is it? January.
January 27th. However, we have because, you know, the IRS does choose certain offices to start submitting what we call batch returns. And our office was selected, so we have started officially submitting returns for priority processing effective yesterday. So we are open for business. Again, individual, corporate, tax planning, tax strategy. If you file quarterly, if you owe every year, it's worth taking another look at and reassessing and seeing if there's some things that can be done differently to change that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you don't ask somebody, you're not going to know.
Yes.
Okay, you have to ask. And you want to ask somebody that they are experts in what they do. You know, and that's what and they have you in mind. Okay,
Yes.
you got some companies that are out there that just about the company, but these group of people that are sitting in this room, this group of people that are sitting in this room, they are genuinely concerned about you having that wealth that your family has created since your great-great-great-great-grandmama, since what's coming up is Black History Month in February.
Right.
Right? So you need to start that conversation now and sit down and talk to whoever the person is in the family that knows everything and find out whether or not they're paying taxes on some of that property over there in Virginia and in Southern Maryland, okay? And then you need to call one of these people so we can even turn you on to an attorney that we know, right? That's Attorney Bell.
That's right.
Or somebody that we can get in touch with you. And veterans don't feel left out, because all these people sitting in this room deal with veterans as well, okay? And I
Yes.
want to make sure I make that clear. So anything that we're talking to you about, we're reaching out to our veterans as well, because they are dear to everybody sitting here's hearts, okay? And we thank you for serving. I'm really upset that they have not respected the policy that has gone on for years, and we talk about generations, with presidents where the flag stays at half-mast for a certain period of time. And I'm really upset about that, but it's nothing I can do, okay? Because we want to have a smooth transition.
That's right.
All right?
That's
right.
right.
I actually have to say that.
That's right.
We're going to have a smooth transition. So it's okay today, okay? All right? But anyway,
Yep.
so we're going to move on. In your office, you do other things. So
Yes.
now we know about the taxes that you do. We
Yes.
know about the amount of home help with the home assistance.
Yes.
We know that you know how to help people with generational wealth,
Yes.
right? And something else that you do. Counseling.
Yeah, the credit education piece. And we also offer estate planning and trust services. Sometimes it's so many things, but I wanted to emphasize on that because it ties into protecting your assets and ensuring that your everything that you're doing with your wealth and your legacy is protected.
Yes.
Everything that we do puts everyone in a position to empower them and ensure that everything that they worked hard for is protected. The assets are protected, it's judgment protected. Yeah, and it's growing.
And the other thing is too is that when they tell you in the television commercials, and I'm telling these people that sitting here can help you with this about getting a trust, about getting a will, and about probate. Okay, those things are important.
Very.
And these people that are sitting in this room right now, they can help you with that. Okay, do not let this month end without you thinking about making a will. Okay, and a trust and probate. Okay, make sure that you do those things. And you need to make sure about your deed. Make sure whose name is on that deed. And that's where you won't have that problem when it comes to when you pass away, with the house deed being in somebody's name and all the brothers and sisters now are, I was getting ready to say something terrible, upset. That's a nice word.
That's it.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay, you like, was that all right?
I like
Upset, okay, all right, okay. Y'all know what I was getting ready to say though, right? So anyway, let's talk about you because we don't want to do too fast, but we don't want to go too slow.
I'm going to move real quick.
No, I don't want you to move too quick. We just want
I just wanted to say that
yeah.
if you don't have a trust, a revocable trust, it's really difficult to maneuver in probate. When I was young, we lost our house. We didn't make the financial necessary planning, and we didn't have Mr. Ross when I was coming up, going into the military. So we lost our house, which in turn set us back generational wealth-wise. If you don't got a trust, do it. If someone passed, you don't want to go to probate.
That's right.
I yield, Mr. Grant.
But wait a minute, but tell what you do.
Okay. I do a plethora of things. Royal Property Group shows how new investors can close their first deal, getting into real estate. I create a look over my shoulder. I put you in the back of my car with me and take you around and show you, the ins and outs of wholesale real estate.
And that's part of generational wealth because now you're helping people to create their own business.
Correct.
By buying property.
Yeah.
Property is wealth.
Yeah.
That's money, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm showing you how to go out here and buy houses, because just like Reverend Ross said earlier, right? Tax sales come up every year.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you're getting to know with you,
Yeah.
you can turn them on. They can turn you on when it's time for tax sales, right?
Yeah.
And to make sure that you buy the right house and there ain't no problems,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Call me 240-483-9682.
Okay. That's
Thank you,
right.
Lady NightHawk.
All right. All right.
And I'm Kevin Grant from KCG Real Estate LLC. Again, I help you buy time to stay in your property. And when I come knock on your door, when I look you up and see that you're in need,
Don't shoot me. I'm just playing.
this is what I drop off to you. A 10-option guide and give you options. I don't come to tell you what you need to do. I don't come twist your arm and try to lead you into one of these options. I just give it to you. Hand it to you. My information for you to contact me when you decide which thing you want to do, that's when I come in. So I differ from Reverend Ross. I am not going to do your loan modification. That's not what I do. Only thing I would do, I can help you, hold your hand, guide you through. Make sure that you get your docs together, because there's some docs that's going to be required, and it's quite a bit, but you have to do it in a timely fashion. It's got to be orderly, and when you submit it, to make sure that not only is it submitted, but it's uploaded in the system. Then we start the situation, and that's in load mod. And then I was hoping that the Attorney Bell would be here, because as you see, deed in lieu of foreclosure requires mortgage. Everything here is based on an attorney. Sooner or later, you're going to deal with an attorney. So in this state of, when you get to foreclosure, probate, stuff like that, those are the legal eagle beagles. So
I like that.
we connect with them, and they handle theirs. I don't tell you, I'm not going to overstep the attorney and say this is what you can and cannot do. I am not
That guy.
licensed to tell you that. That is a no. That's not what I do. I just guide you. That's all I do. But the information and the way to do things, like if you don't have, some people get nervous that the house is upside down. They don't have any equity. Well, what we're going to do is just going to give it away. I'm done. Negative. There
That's my
are
daddy's
things to do. Things that you think there's no money for you. Things can be structured and can be a win. If you do decide that you don't want the property anymore, you lost your heart, it's done, sometimes that happens. There are avenues till you won't walk away just broke, busted, and disgusted.
I like that.
That's that time when you turn to God
That's
and
right.
ask Him
That's
for
the time.
direction and
That's right.
guidance.
Absolutely.
Okay,
That's right.
and He'll put people
That's
in
what
your He'll put people in your space. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And that's why we're trying to make sure that you look at the credits, rewind. Okay, pause, write the information down, and that way I have at least 1, 2, 3, 4 people that I can reach out to, and I can come pray with you. Okay, but it's. Mental health is a big issue in this country right now,
It's a real
right?
thing.
But we want to try to turn that around. So that's why we're trying to give you different information, because this is the beginning of the year. This is 2025, okay? And we need you to be prepared for what it is to come, because we don't know what's incoming, right?
Right.
But we want you to be prepared and don't say, I don't know what to do. Like you said, sometimes you lose that hope,
Yeah.
I give up. No, do not give up in 2025, okay?
Right.
You got folks, and these folks ain't enough. We still got some more folks, okay, that can help you, okay?
Right. Indeed.
So we know people, okay? So if you don't know, we are in the know, because we know somebody else who can help and provide you and get you out that stuff. We can even help you with mental health, okay? If you know somebody that has suicide or somebody that is having mental health issues, reach out. At the end of this program and every program, we have a mental health number at the end. We have a suicide prevention number at the end. You are not out here by yourself, okay?
Amen.
Talk to your preachers, talk to your ministers, talk to a counselor. She has counseling. She has it's not ministerial counseling, but it's counseling maybe for what the issue that you're dealing with, okay? So don't leave him out and don't leave them out, okay? And then Attorney Bell, you tell me, I know his ears is itching, right? We're talking about Attorney Donald Bell. Amen. Good night.
Amen.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that